Hey there everyone, happy Thursday. King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you as we get ready to head into Friday, the end of the work week, which is expected to be maybe a bit more cloudy, but just as warm, if not even warmer than what Thursday was, which many of us found our way back into the mid and upper 60s, even had a few spots approaching that 70-degree mark. There are changes on the way for the weekend, and so this last day that's going to be warmer for us might be the last one, or at least for a little while before we do return to this wetter and cooler pattern into the weekend. Could include some snowfall too for our passes into next work week. I think the weekend though is going to stay dry, or at least wet, up across the passes. Here's a look right now as you take a look at the satellite imagery. You can see that spin of low pressure out across the Pacific, and that's bringing a lot more of this moisture across parts of California and Oregon, while for us up here, things are quiet. And as a matter of fact, I don't even know if there's a cloud in sight anywhere across the entire state of Washington. Just check out how clear and sunny it is here into Thursday. Again, there are some changes on the way. We're going to see those snow levels drop from about 7,000 feet all the way down to 3,000 feet heading into next work week, and that's when we start to see more of that snow around pass level. Could see anywhere between maybe a half a foot to a foot, but we'll talk about that here in a second. We got some rain on the way for the weekend after tomorrow's partly sunny day. We'll see temperatures around that 70-degree mark drop over the weekend. See a few showers around, a lot more dry times than not into the weekend. Highest rain chances will be during the first half of the day on Saturday, and then probably some better chances heading into Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into the first part of the day on Wednesday. Gorgeous shot right here of Tacoma with the blue skies that we have, kind of contrasting that with the white on top of Mount Rainier with all the snow that's there. Of course, we can use a little more, but we're not going to be beggars right now. Here's a look at our Everett camera because we are enjoying this clear and warm weather. Nice sunshine there at Everett and here in Seattle too, as currently temperatures are in the mid-60s with that north wind coming in at about 10 miles per hour. Do expect things to drop as far as temperatures tonight, but we do have those additional clouds beginning to move on in, so that will limit some of the cooling that we're doing here into the night. Here's radar. It's quiet. It's really been that way for the past few days, but we are starting to see some of those showers and storms even beginning to inch their way closer and closer to that Oregon and Washington state line. You can see that right there. Will there be any thunderstorm activity in Washington? Maybe a little, but I don't think we're going to see anything too widespread. And a lot of the instability that's around and the energy for those thunderstorms will stay generally to our south. Might again see and hear a few rumbles of thunder and see a few flashes of lightning, but overall we're going to keep things just primarily in the plain old form of rain. Now, as we head throughout the night, we're starting to see these clouds coming in from the south, and it's really mainly going to be after midnight that we start to see a lot more of those thick clouds arriving. Here's 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can see some moisture trying to come with those clouds, but maybe a few sprinkles out towards the coast. I think the atmosphere is just going to be too dry. We got to saturate it first before things are able to become more wet. So we're going to do that as we head on into more of the second part of the day on Friday, and more so Friday night, and at that point you'll see a lot more of that cloud coverage coming back into the picture for us. That's 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Some showers and maybe a few storms across especially the eastern side of the state, but all of that working its way northward as we head into the first part of the day on Saturday. And here we are at 5 o'clock seeing some of that widespread rain moving on through, and that lifts northward. So by about that lunch hour on Saturday, a lot of things are in a lot of areas beginning to dry out at that point. Not too much more left behind that, and you'll definitely see that we didn't have a lot of snow across the mountains with this particular system at all, and we are going to keep the clouds around heading into the day on Sunday. Showers kind of more off and on in nature at that point. So looking at the forecast here for the weekend, tomorrow we're expecting things to stay nice and dry and warm before we do see the cooler and wetter weather here as we head on into the weekend, with highs falling back down into the mid and upper 50s. And just checking out the pattern overall, you can see the rain really diving southward into California and Oregon. A lot of mountain snow too across parts of the Sierra Nevada. Now up this way for us, not so much snow yet, at least for our mountains, but we are going to see at least more of an opportunity heading on into more of the day on Tuesday. And you can see that as we head on into Monday night, that next system is coming in from the northwest, and eventually it arrives as we head into more of Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. And that's where you can see a lot more of that snow breaking out across the mountains here and up across parts of BC as well. Going to see that move on by, keep things a bit on the cooler side, and eventually find its way farther east across interior parts of the northwest as we head throughout Wednesday, Thursday, drying out, but it should stay on the cooler side as we head on into that that point. Here's tonight's temperatures. I wanted to show you those. Low to mid 40s for overnight lows, a few upper 30s. I wanted to get back, though, to some of the snow that we could be seeing here with this as we head on into next week. So you start to see that starting to ramp up. Take this with a grain of salt. It says possibly up to 1.5 feet in a lot of those locations right here. Now, this is going to be after some of our resorts are closing already for the season. So we're not really getting too excited about this for the resorts and for skiing per se or snowboarding. But definitely want to try to put down as much as possible and keep as much down as possible as we head on into the summer and the fire season ahead, because we want to keep that moisture and that vegetation up there to kind of reduce some of the dry fuels that we're expecting to see. All right, just showed you the lows for tonight. Highs for tomorrow. Where are they going to be? Well, they look like they're going to be more so in the 70s. Now, farther north, we probably won't see the 70s, but we'll be pretty close. Expecting more mid to upper 60s there. The 70s, better chance of that farther south in Bremerton, Tacoma, Puyallup up to 70 degrees and 72. What could limit that? Cloud coverage. How much of it do we see? And we're expecting also towards the coast some cooler temperatures as we start to see the changes happening there before we start to notice it here closer to Puget Sound to the Kitsap Peninsula. Warm day and fairly sunny day early on for us heading into Friday before more of the clouds and cooler weather come back around through the weekend and into at least the first half of next work week. Those lows will stay primarily in the low to mid 40s here for the next few nights, and we'll keep an eye out, especially if you have any travel plans heading on into Tuesday night or into the day on Wednesday. There could be some snow across the mountains as you're making your drive across the state. Okay, everyone, we'll have a wonderful and a tremendous Thursday night. We'll talk to you soon.